It's basically the crabs in a barrel theory. When you start making it, you come out of your so-called misery or poverty. People want to bring you down. You know what I mean? Like people just, I don't know if they consciously tell themselves, "Oh, I don't want him to not." I don't want him to not be miserable, or I don't want him to do good. They might not tell themselves consciously that because then they're so-called the hater. Um, but deep down inside, they don't want to see you all of a sudden doing well. Now, like I said, even if it's a selfish thing, wait. Even if you can't stand this person and it's just for your benefit, a wise person would sit back and say, okay, I'm going to wait. Like I heard somewhere, and it may not be true, that Oprah Winfrey offered him a job on her new channel. Now, unless they're doing this as a promotion for some sort of reality show or just create some type of drama for something he's already locked and secured, and everybody's part of this game, part of this publicity, keeping him relevant, I'm not sure anything's possible. But it's still the crab in the barrel theory, and if it is the case where as though she just came to the hotel room asking for money, saying you ain't nothing, where you been all these years. Listen, okay, when a man is down, I'm not even going to excuse him for that. Okay, if he had children, he was supposed to take care of. He's supposed to take care of them. I'm not even going to excuse him for that. But the thing is, a crab in the barrel theory, she still could have waited. She still could have waited for him to get successful first. What if he would have reversed it? Like, okay, I was down. He's the homeless person. They know he has a drug issue. Everybody knows that, or should know that if someone is addicted to drugs of any form, or drinking even, or whatever, that he's not at his best mentally. What if he reversed it and was like, okay, well, I was addicted to these drugs or whatever the case may be. Why didn't they help him out? Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe he got carried away and he decided to go away. That's possible as well. But it should be some level of understanding. And again, if it's not, she should have laid low, waited until he got money, waited until it benefited her. He's playing the role, if not genuine, of, especially if you believe he's just playing a role of he's spiritual, religious, he's such a good guy. Like with most people who come into a large sum of money, all of a sudden he's going to throw money around. Wait, and then catch some of the money. It's also another theory of more money, more problems. All of a sudden, everybody's going to come out the woodworks. But here's another thing. Has he even gotten paid anything to go up to the hotel room or to be in a room and start arguing over money? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And another thing is, what about the 8 other kids he has? Like, this is one person, unless she was speaking on behalf of everybody else. And in that case, where were they at? I didn't even, I haven't been following it up too much, but I don't even know if they were on the news. Like, it was him and his mother as a reunion. I don't know as far as where, did he didn't even have contact with them after all these years? Were they on the TV crying and hugging or even being upset? I don't know. But what I think he needs to do is not only stop hanging out with some of the other drug addicts he may have hung out with, which who will also come back in the picture and probably try to extort him, probably try to tempt him to go back to the person he was, because there's vultures out there that come back from your past when you were immature or reckless and try to drag you back down with them, especially if they're doing bad and you're doing better, I should say. I know of many cases of that, and then I'm pretty sure everybody else has some type of example of where people from your past, if your past wasn't the greatest, come back to basically haunt you or to tempt you or taunt you. And they could even appear as though that they're doing well now. It's probably going to be someone who is a former drug addict like himself, appear to be just as spiritual and just as good off as he is, and then they're going to try to take his money. So what I think, my advice is that if I had to give him advice, if he somehow listens to this advice, or for anyone who comes into a large sum of money, whether it's lottery or this, it's the same thing as a lottery. Same thing as if you were to win the Powerball or Mega Millions. Sometimes you have to totally disconnect yourself from anyone who may try to throw you off your game, off your pivot, whether it be old friends who were bad news or family members. And I don't know where people get this idea where a person's your family member, that they have the best wishes and intentions for you or have you in their best interest. No, they could be the worst. There's a such thing called jealousy, envy, same thing of greed. And people want, and whether they want you to do good or not may not even be the situation. So you have to clip them. If you know it might not be a healthy situation, you have to remove them out of your life before it becomes a problem or too hard to do it. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
This is in response to the Ted Williams getting arrested by the LAPD. As all may know, he was in a shouting match with his daughter over money at the Renaissance Hotel in Hollywood. Um, well, my opinion or view on this is basically that, I'm pretty sure people could understand why the daughter was mad, what she could have been arguing about, and basically probably side with the daughter or any kids he may have, because he was homeless, he was a drug addict, or whatever issues he may have had that he couldn't take care of them. But you know, the least she could have done was wait until he had more money, wait until he was more successful, wait until, wait a month at least. The man is trying to get back on his feet. Call his bluff, pull his card if you have to later, not now. I mean, I'm not going to make this a male female type of argument, but a lot of women, uh, they don't use logic. You know, they don't sit back and think of how to attain a goal. Don't zone out, don't tune out the other person just for your uh, ego or your comfort, just because you think it needs to be heard now, or your point needs to be made, it needs to be heard aloud. No, think about that, man. Stop looking down on other people without looking in the mirror. And even if it's a selfish reason, give people a chance to reconcile or compromise or even talk or even speak. Listen. Just another classic example of ego, classic example of even being a rest haven. Sometimes, even when the man doesn't want to be a rest haven or um, didn't choose to be someone who should just sit back and listen and be pushed around, or not able to even be a man, sometimes, you know, that could cause more of an argument than the general topic being discussed. Okay, he wasn't around. But like I said, even for a selfish reason, let that person do him. Give him a chance to, you know, uh, make a difference or to try to make it up. Now I don't even know if any advertiser of any company will want to even touch that because of his image of, look at this guy ain't even do a commercial or a show yet, and hasn't even been so-called good in the public eye for a month. He just got a haircut and cleaned up about a couple of weeks ago, and he's already getting into trouble. I personally don't think it was his fault. I don't know what they were arguing about, but I personally think that, especially if the daughter is an adult, I personally think that she was baiting him. And what do you expect from someone who has been living in a tent, who hasn't had money, real income in years, who probably hasn't had a decent meal in a while, who doesn't need triggers to bring him back to the mind state or the mindset that kept him homeless. You know, people out there, not just women, people out there need to start looking at the bigger picture with things. Everybody is so their attention span is so short, and their ego is through the roof that they don't even want to sit back and realize, hey, are we both wrong, or is that other person the one wrong and nothing's wrong with me? Come on, check your ego at the door.